we're going to be going over the top 5 reasons why your political party is wrong. Reason number 1, they're laughing at you. People in politics tend to fall under 3 different categories, with the third category being pretty rare. The first category is the politician that only wants your vote and will do anything to beat their political opponents. The second category is someone from the news media that only wants your attention so they can sell you advertisements. And then the third category is something I wish I saw a little bit more in the political world. This is the person that genuinely wants to make a change in society. And then just as a preface, I know there might be a lot of you that actually do love your political party and hold strong to your political opinions. And I will be honest, I do respect you a lot for that. I wish that the people that you were following in politics had that same desire burning within their heart to do what is right like you do. But the truth is that most politicians are just following the money. If you disagree with me, you're fair to have your opinion. I could even debate with you if you'd like in the comments. But let me just bring this up for you. Why do you think the USA and oil memes are a thing? Even better of a question. Why did the USA attack Afghanistan after 9/11 when Osama bin Laden and 15 of the 19 terrorists were all from Saudi Arabia? Even better of a question, why was revenge the very first response of the US? And if the US was going to attack anyone, why wouldn't it be Saudi Arabia? In fact, there were many wealthy families from Saudi Arabia that were alleged to have been involved in the September 11th attack. Oh wait, Saudi Arabia has good oil deals? Never mind. I think the terrorists probably were in Afghanistan. That's probably where we should have gone. 46,000 civilian casualties, that's not even that big of a deal. Plus, I mean, if you look at Russia, they probably have killed way more Ukrainian civilians than the US killed civilians. So, I mean, yeah, it was probably not even that big of a deal. And just as a disclaimer, so that this video doesn't get flagged and I don't get accused of being a bunch of things that I'm not pro-Russia. I'm actually just simply anti-war, which is why I think if there's going to be a war, it should be justified, and I think it should be a pretty big red flag if civilians are being killed at all. Especially if, I don't know, 1 out of every 4 casualties end up being civilians. I could make like an entire video about how suspicious 9/11 was, especially when it comes to how the US responded to 9/11 as well. But let's not get sidetracked here. The point of this video and the point that I'm trying to make is that politicians are going to follow the money, which is why you can know who you're voting for much better, and you can know what you're supporting with your vote by looking at the money. And when I say looking at the money, what I mean is to look up an individual politician and just take a glance at the different lobbyists that they have taken money from, and that's going to give you a good idea based on looking into what companies those lobbyists represent, because then you're going to see what kind of influences and what kind of agendas might be influencing the politicians that you're voting for. All of the conditions that I have just referenced so far in this video are why your political party probably views you as a sucker who will keep coming back with your money, time, and attention, all because they can make you hate the opposing political party. Also, did I mention that both Republicans and Democrats both take large sums of money from the same corporations? If that's not suspicious to you, then to be honest, I don't know what is. Reason number 2, they are inconsistent. If you look at all of the beliefs collectively with each individual party, you'll begin to find moral contradictions. And I can explain using examples for each party. We'll start with the Republicans. In the Republican Party, they are for the death penalty, yet they are anti-abortion. In the Democrat Party, they are for gun control and gun bans, yet they are also for drug decriminalization and/or legalization. These are examples that might seem like inconsistencies at the surface level, and it requires some deeper thought to go into the belief systems within these political parties that I can confidently say I do not observe in the average Republican or Democrat. So that makes me question whether or not the average Republican or Democrat actually forms their beliefs because they thought about it for themselves and considered what they believe based on reason and their own morals or the morals of their religion, or are they just going off of what their party says because essentially they were presented with two solutions to a problem and they went with what their party said? I'm thinking it's probably the second one. Moving on to reason number 3, politicians in your political party are motivated. As I mentioned before, politicians take large sums of money from lobbyists, and a lot of that money is used to fund their political campaign. You also should remember and keep in mind that politicians need to win. If they don't win, then it will put a pretty big dent in their career, to say the least. With that being said, let me ask you guys a question. How moral do you expect a person to be in general when large sums of money are on the line? Another question for you. How much do you think you can get a politician to do if you tell them that you can pay for their campaign? This is why I seriously doubt that the interests of the American people are going to come first and foremost to the average politician. They need to make their donors happy first, otherwise they can be certain for a difficult time for re-election. And like I've said, politicians need to win when they run for election, or it will put a dent in their career, to say the least. Not even the politician can bite the hand that feeds them. Moving on to reason number 4. The politicians are puppets. The hand that feeds the politician is the same hand that leads the politician. Sure, a politician can have their own agendas, and they might even have things that they want to do for the people, but a good lobbyist will make sure that none of those agendas of the politician will interfere with the agenda of the company that they represent. At least not if that politician wants to be funded again. If I were to guess, the average politician has already taken the free lunch that comes with a price that maybe to the politician seems like it is small, but you should just know that the politician probably does not support you first and foremost. Now, you might argue, but Forensic, why does it matter if a politician is influenced just a little bit if they mostly represent the people? The reason why it does matter is because small changes here a little, there a little can actually snowball into drastic changes in society if planned with enough diligence and patience. It reminds me of the frog on the stovetop analogy, and that might not make sense to you, so let me explain it. If you put a frog in a pot on a stove, and you place it in warm water at first, and then turn the stovetop on so that it starts heating up the water slowly over time, the frog will not realize that it is in danger until the water is already boiling and the frog has been boiled to death. The frog probably dies long before the water is boiling, but the point being, the frog will be boiled alive in the pot due to slight changes in the water temperature over time without any resistance. In the same way, society has deviated from idealism, here a little, there a little, according to the machine's agenda, more subtly than the average person can probably perceive. The politicians are the stars of this show, the puppets, because if anything not so subtle does happen, the politicians are the ones who are going to take the blame, while the agendas of the machine continue to go unnoticed. Reason number 5, you are playing a game under their rules. A good lobbyist can be much more powerful over time than a politician. Yet a lobbyist is just an employee of a megacorp. They represent the corporation they work for. One of these corporations, most suspiciously, that happen to really like politicians for whatever reason, is called BlackRock. And they like both the Republican and Democrat politicians. I wonder why. They also happen to own a large portion of most of the companies that make the food that you eat. And they themselves are actually a part of the military-industrial complex. That means that they make the weapons that people go to war with. I mean, I doubt there's any conflicts of interest going on there. You guys can make your own conclusions. Now, I do not believe in any conspiracy theories whatsoever. I think conspiracy theories nonsensical. And I think it'd be foolish to think that BlackRock was somehow bribing a bunch of politicians to make people go to war and do all these things for them that might not be in our best interest. That would just be really foolish to think. So I don't think you should think that. All I'm saying is it would be really weird to see a puppet show where you saw the people moving the puppets. Another thing about conspiracy theories is that a lot of people let them get in the way of their self-responsibility. At the end of the day, what I say is, first and foremost, you are responsible for yourself and the people you care about, which is why I think you should think for yourself instead of just conforming to political parties. I think we're all smarter than to just go with what our political party says. And if it happens to be in line with what a political party says, cool. If it doesn't, also cool. I think what matters is that you formed your opinion on your own and that you use your best logical reasoning and you're consistently trying to formulate better opinions based on new information that you get. With that being said, I just want to say thank you guys for sticking to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm sure the comments section of this video will be a little bit different than my other videos. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.